Venus did say that Serena is a big part of her success both on and off the court, so not having her sister there meant she was going to have to do it on her own.
Sure, and she's dealing with that Sorgen's syndrome as well that saps her energy and keeps her from being as active as she might be. And it is remarkable to be competing at her age. But I also think there's a bit of a comment there on the state of the women's tennis game, too, that no one has emerged to challenge her or Serena in a meaningful sort of way over the past decade. And, you know, you just think about the way women's tennis has evolved, where you used to have a little bit more depth. When you think about when Steffi Graf was there, when Martina Hingis was there, Monica Seles, there isn't that depth now that a 39-year-old woman can get to this point and be competitive to this level. So it's certainly a comment on what a remarkable specimen she is and what a remarkable athlete she is, that she can perform at this level. But where is the depth in women's tennis?
It's a great question, because we've also seen it over the years where you'll have flashes in the pan. A Dominika Sibylkova, a Jelena Jankovic. Some woman will come in and she'll go to 2 or 3 slam finals and lose to Venus a couple of times and then end up fading back into oblivion. I don't know what the answer is on the women's side, because there just seems to be less consistency there. But we know that there's been consistency on the men's side as well, because what Venus is doing is being paralleled right now by Roger Federer, who at 35 years old is having his own renaissance at Wimbledon and continuing possibly toward his 19th career Grand Slam final and championship. That, I think, is remarkable in itself when you compare the two and see that they're doing it at the same time on the same stage.
Right, and he's faced some challenges in recent years from Djokovic and Nadal, and he still finds a way to be competitive within that men's field. And there's an intelligence to his game, there's a class to his game when you watch it that, you know, Venus Williams can still overpower people. Roger Federer isn't necessarily overpowering people. He's out-finessing people. He's outsmarting people. And that's an interesting evolution for him as an athlete. And, you know, credit to Venus Williams for being able to still do that at her age, and it's remarkable. But we're seeing a very interesting brand of tennis from Roger Federer these days. And it's a shame for Milos Raonic, who continues to struggle against him, continues to not be able to find a way around him and find a way to beat him at his game.
You talk about power, and the first thing I think of is Milos's serve and how, I'm not going to say ineffective it was against Roger, but how it really got nixed because of the fact that Roger has that all-around game. And one of the things that Federer said about Milos is that he was there last year. He was at that point where he could have beaten a guy like Federer, and did on his way to the final against Andy Murray. But now Federer is taking control back. He's kind of taken a step back, and he's had this resurgence. So it'll be interesting to see what both of those players in Federer and Williams can do moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a lesson, too, in longevity in sports, but just the process of evolution and how brains, to a certain degree, can overcome the brawn of the younger athlete. But it also what makes them great. Not everyone can pull it off. Not everyone can adjust. Not everyone can see the openings that a rival gives you in a game or in a match and find ways to beat them.